сейчас они хотят использовать.
Now they want to use Christmas as a cover to at least briefly stop the advance of our guys in Donbass and bring equipment, ammunition and mobilize men closer to our positions. What will this bring? Just another increase in the death toll. Everyone in the world knows how the Kremlin uses respites at war to continue the war with renewed vigor.
Well, let's cross live to Kyiv now and speak to BBC's Hugo Bachega. What is Russia trying to achieve here? Is this part of its narrative to portray Ukraine as the aggressor, perhaps, when it rejects this ceasefire?
Yeah, Lucy, President Zelensky last night said this was a trick by Moscow. He said that Russia was in a desperate situation because of recent military defeats. And he said this was a cover for Russia to give a break to its troops in the east of the country where most of the fighting has been taking place. And also an opportunity for Moscow to move troops and equipment closer to Ukrainian positions. So to give you a flavor of how Ukrainian officials have been describing this proposal, they've been saying this is a cynical trap, lies, propaganda, hypocrisy. So the Ukrainians are not really buying it. And they also say that this could be used by President Putin as an excuse to describe Ukraine as the aggressor here. He may well say, well, look, we've offered a ceasefire and you didn't accept it. So it will be interesting to see how this is going to unfold. The ceasefire is expected to start at 11 a.m. here local time today. Obviously, this is a unilateral ceasefire. The Ukrainians haven't said that they're going to accept it. And well, officials have been saying that they've dismissed this proposal as a cynical proposal by a country that can't be trusted.
And is 36 hours, which is what's being proposed, is that enough really for Russia to regroup as Zelensky is suggesting?
Well, I think what we've been seeing in the east of the country is that fighting has been intense, has been brutal, especially around the city of Bakhmut, which has been the main focus of Russian forces in that part of the country. And, you know, heavy losses on both sides, but in particular on the Russian side. And obviously this announcement by President Putin, by the Kremlin, comes after a Ukrainian strike targeting a Russian base in the Donetsk region. The Ukrainians say hundreds of soldiers were killed. So it is a difficult situation for Russian troops. They are in a difficult position here. President Zelensky, President Biden yesterday said that it is a desperate situation for Russian troops. So I think what the Ukrainians are saying is that this is perhaps an attempt by Russia to give troops in the east of the country a break, and then give them an opportunity to regroup and rearm. And they say that they're using this ceasefire as an opportunity to try to do that.
It's probably worth mentioning also, isn't it, that the head of the Russian Orthodox Church who called for this ceasefire has been very supportive of Putin in this war, hasn't he?
Exactly, and President Putin is saying that he's just following this request by the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, saying that to give people on both sides of the conflict the opportunity to celebrate Christmas. But what the Ukrainians are saying is that, look, the Russians targeted the city of Kherson on Christmas Day, on the 25th of December. The Russians launched missile and drone attacks on New Year's Eve, on New Year's Day. Several people were killed in those attacks. So what the authorities are saying is that the Russians cannot be trusted. They say that the Russians carried out these attacks during the festive holidays, festive period. And they say that, again, the Russians cannot be trusted with this proposal, this cynical proposal, as they say, of a ceasefire.